Good morning. Welcome to Rajya Sabha television and a very happy Republic Day to all of you. It's the country's 67th Republic Day and the national capital is all decked up and ready for a spectacular parade that's going to begin in a short while from now. There are going to be many firsts as far as this parade is concerned. But before we get you all those details, let's first bring you the headlines. India celebrates 67th Republic Day today. Military and cultural might to be on full display at the parade at Rajpath. French President François Hollande, chief guest. This time, a massive security cover is in place. Indo-Pak relations find mention in President Pranab Mukherjee's Republic Day Eve address. President says peace talks can't continue under shower of bullets. Supreme Court to hear Congress petition challenging Union Cabinet's decision to impose President's rule in Arunachal Pradesh on January 27th. Pranab Mukherjee believed to have questioned Home Minister over urgency for move. Joint Action Committee of Hyderabad Central University calls for nationwide university strike on Wednesday over Rohit Vemula's suicide. Students reject appointed on interim Vice Chancellor. And at least 23 people killed in suicide attack in Syria's Aleppo. This as the United Nations tries to secure restart of postponed Syria peace talks on Friday. Well, our top focus, of course, is the Republic Day, the 67th Republic Day today. The stage is set for the grand parade at Rajpath, where French President François Hollande will be the chief guest. There are several firsts this time around. For the first time in the history of Republic Day parades, a 76-member French army contingent led by a French military band will march and present a ceremonial salute to the President of India. India's state-of-the-art defense, diverse cultural and social traditions and the government's emphasis on self-reliance and indigenization will also be showcased. After a gap of 26 years, an Indian Army dog squad drawn from the Remount Veterinary Corps will also take part in the parade. For the first time, the parade will see an ex-serviceman tableau where Army veterans will showcase their role in nation building. Tableau from 17 states and 6 central ministries and departments will participate in the parade. Also, 23 winners of the National Bravery Awards 2015 will also participate in the parade. Meanwhile, a multi-layered security blanket has been thrown around the national capital for Republic Day. Anti-aircraft guns and LMGs have been positioned at vantage points after intelligence inputs that terror groups may target some important installations in the national capital. Gunners have been given clear instructions to bring down any aerial object flying without permission. Special arrangements have been made at the historic Rajpath, where President Pranab Mukherjee will be witnessing the parade, along with French President François Hollande and other dignitaries. The entire might of the Delhi police personnel from paramilitary forces have also been pressed into service for duty. Security has been beefed up across Mumbai and along its coast on the eve against the backdrop of a nationwide crackdown on ISIS sympathizers. Interestingly, leaves and weekly offs of almost 40,000 strong force are not cancelled, contrary to the practice. Heavy security has also been thrown across Jammu region, including the Maulana Azad Memorial Stadium ahead of the Republic Day celebrations. A multi-tier security cover has been put in place in and around the main venue, Maulana Azad Memorial Stadium, where Governor N.N. Vora is scheduled to hoist the national flag. In the wake of the Pathankot terror attack, the Border Security Force has beefed up its security apparatus along the international border in Jammu region. Meanwhile, the President addressed the nation on the eve of the 67th Republic Day. He expressed optimism over India's economic growth while also urging lawmakers to end the continuing logjam in Parliament. President Mukherjee also spoke about the continuing debate on intolerance in the country. In the backdrop of the Pathankot attack, the President also said terrorism is a war beyond any doctrine. Here's more.
This year, with an estimated growth rate of 7.3%, India is poised to become the fastest growing large economy. Contraction in global oil prices has helped maintain external sector stability and control domestic prices. Despite occasional setbacks, industrial performance this year has been strong. For revitalizing the forces of growth, we need reforms and progressive legislation. It is the bounden duty of the lawmakers to ensure that such legislation is enacted after due discussion and debate. A spirit of accommodation, cooperation, and consensus building should be the preferred mode of decision making. Delays in decision making and implementation can only harm the progress of development. Reverence for the past is one of the essential ingredients of nationalism. Our finest inheritance, the institutions of democracy, ensure to all citizens justice, equality, and gender and economic equity. When grim instances of violence hit at these established values, which are at the core of our nationhood, it is time to take note. We must guard ourselves against the forces of violence, intolerance, and unreason. Terrorism is inspired by insane objectives, motivated by bottomless depths of hatred, instigated by puppeteers who have invested heavily in havoc through the mass murder of innocents. This is war beyond any doctrine, a cancer which must be operated out with a firm scalpel. There is no good or bad terrorism. It is pure evil.
Well, in other news, now in a landmark accord, India and France signed an intergovernmental agreement on the purchase of 36 Rafale fighter jets. Issuing a joint statement after the talks, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Francois Hollande also underscored their commitment to combat terrorism. Here's a report.
रक्षा सहयोग के संदर्भ में
If you were to speak of the
36 राफेल लड़ाकू विमानों की खरीद को लेकर यह खुशी की बात है
we are very
कि
pleased
दोनों
that
पक्षों के
in
बीच
the purchase of 36 Rafale aircrafts, apart from some financial issues, there has been an intergovernmental agreement on other issues.
A decisive accord between India and France. Both countries signed an intergovernmental agreement on the 60,000 crore Rafale jet deal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured that financial issues will be sorted out soon. French firms will also invest $10 billion in India over the next 5 years, taking forward Modi's pet scheme Make in India. Majority of this investment will be in the industrial sector.
Il avait affirmé son souhait de faire l'acquisition de 36 avions Rafale. Nous avons travaillé depuis. Je rappelle que ces avions sont ceux-là même qui, aujourd'hui, luttent contre Daesh en Syrie et en Irak et montrent leur efficacité.
Terrorism became a hot topic of discussion between Modi and Hollande, with both referring to a common challenge from Paris to Pathankot. Hollande expressed his commitment to strengthen cooperation between Paris and New Delhi against militant attacks.
Et ces provocations odieuses amplifient encore la résolution qui est la nôtre, qui est la mienne, pour protéger les Français. Frapper encore cette organisation qui nous menace et qui tue nos enfants. C'est la raison pour laquelle
पठानकोट तथा विश्व के अन्य शहरों पर हुए आतंकवादी हमले एक ऐसी ही चुनौती का एक भीषण स्वरूप है। इससे लड़ने के लिए मानवता में विश्वास रखने वाले सभी देशों और शक्तियों को एकत्रित होना नितांत आवश्यक है।
Among other agreements, France will partner India's next mission to Mars. India is likely to undertake Mangalyaan 2 in 2021. Both countries also extended cooperation to make a thermal imaging satellite for studying climate change. Indo-French cooperation is also envisaged in India's forthcoming OceanSat satellite. Early on Sunday, both France and India signed 16 agreements in Chandigarh. On Monday, Hollande was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the presidential palace, where President Pranab Mukherjee and Modi welcomed him. Later, Hollande paid rich tributes to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat, where he also planted a sapling. In other meetings, the French president interacted with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. Striking a code of friendship, Modi said French military troops will march with Indian troops at the Republic Day parade on Tuesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Francois Hollande inaugurated the interim secretariat of the International Solar Alliance in Gurgaon on the outskirts of Delhi. The two leaders launched the alliance aimed at eventually bringing clean and affordable solar energy within the reach of all at the Paris climate talks in November-December last year. The two leaders reached the inauguration site by metro. Hollande said France's shared commitment to clean energy with India turned into a practical action with the launch of the secretariat. India has earmarked 50 billion rupees to pay for the installation of rooftop solar panels over the next 5 years that will generate up to 4,200 megawatts of power.
नवंबर महीने में पेरिस में जब कॉन्फ्रेंस चल रही थी, 30 नवंबर को दुनिया के सभी राष्ट्रों के मुखिया उस समारोह में मौजूद थे और एक इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस इस नाम की संस्था का जन्म हुआ।
Meanwhile, students across universities around the world, including Boston, San Francisco and Pennsylvania in the US and Johannesburg, reportedly held condolence meetings for Dalit research scholar Rohit Vemula. Many also held protests in support of the Hyderabad Central University students' demand for the dismissal of Hyderabad Central University Vice-Chancellor Appa Rao. Here's more.
Support increasing at the Hyderabad Central University for students protesting against the alleged suicide of Dalit research scholar Rohit Vemula. Students and the SC/ST faculty and officer forums objected to the choice of Vipin Srivastava, the senior-most professor, to perform the duties of the Vice-Chancellor. They alleged that he headed the Executive Council subcommittee that was responsible for the death of Rohit.
In solidarity with the SC/ST Teachers Forum, Dr. Anupama and Dr. Soumya Dechamma, both non-Dalit faculty members, have resigned from their administrative positions. Just now, they have extended their solidarity.
The only way we can move forward is through talks. Okay, so and for that, I'm reaching out to my colleagues, faculty colleagues, to help us, talk with the students.
Meanwhile, Rohit Vemula's mother, who was demanding an inquiry into his death, was hospitalized after she complained of chest pain.
Last evening around 8 o'clock, Rohit's mother, who was sitting in the protest site, she complained of chest pain and then she was brought to our health center because it is the closest one. So our duty doctor and our duty medical team had done an ECG and other required investigations. And they found there were some ECG changes. She is a known case of hypertension and diabetes. So whatever possible at our level we had done.
On Monday, students from other universities and social groups converged at the university campus, responding to the Chalo HCU call by the Joint Action Committee. News agencies reported that security was increased with a large number of police personnel deployed as a precautionary measure. The students are demanding the dismissal of Vice-Chancellor P. Appa Rao, who proceeded on leave on Sunday. They also want what they called a Rohit Act to prevent suicides of SC, ST, OBC and minority students in universities. Protests were also held in Delhi against the HRD minister who appealed for calm.
I have also appealed to everybody to ensure that there is calm and peace with regards to the same issue. The press release of MHRD is extremely clear on the fact that every university, though is autonomous, to ensure that administration takes place. We are also also starting in sensitization, whole chain of efforts on our behalf, so that universities and organizations who are aware that they have to fulfill a constitutional responsibility towards their students ensure that absolutely no activity is done to harm the interest of students at large.
On Monday, B.R. Ambedkar's grandson Prakash Ambedkar also visited the campus. The agitation has already received strong support from parties other than the BJP and several top leaders, including Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, who visited the campus last week. A fresh batch of 7 students also joined the indefinite fast that is continuing on the campus for the second day. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, the Padma Awards, one of the highest civilian awards of the country, have been announced. Among the recipients this time are Dhirubhai Ambani, Sri Ravi Shankar and actor Rajnikant will get the Padma Vibhushan. Actor Anupam Kher and former CAG Vinod Rai will get the Padma Bhushan. Sania Mirza, Saina Nehwal and Deepika Kumari are among the sports personalities who will get the Padma Bhushan. Here's a report.
President Pranab Mukherjee will confer Padma Awards to 112 eminent personalities this year. Padma Awards, one of the highest civilian awards of the country, are conferred in 3 categories, namely Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. The list comprises of 10 Padma Vibhushan, 19 Padma Bhushan and 83 Padma Shri awardees this year. In the entertainment industry, Padma Vibhushan will be conferred upon actor Rajnikant. There is Padma Bhushan for actor Anupam Kher and singer Udit Narayan, while Priyanka Chopra and Ajay Devgan will be awarded Padma Shri.
जब इस तरह का सम्मान आपको मिलता है तो आपकी सेंस ऑफ रिस्पांसिबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है देश के प्रति नागरिकों के प्रति लोगों के प्रति अपने प्रति माँ बाप के प्रति स्टूडेंट्स के प्रति that gives you a sense of determination that I have to do more things for the society than just be an actor all my life.
Sports personalities chosen for the awards are Saina Nehwal and Sania Mirza, who will be awarded the Padma Bhushan. Archer Deepika Kumari has been chosen for the Padma Shri.
उनकी मेहनत का फल अवश्य मिलता है और साइना के साथ भी यही हुआ उन्होंने मेहनत की और उनको गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने इस पद्म भूषण के इनाम से जो नवाजा है उसके लिए मैं तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार हूं उन सभी साथियों का.
In the field of business, Dhirubhai Ambani, the founder of Reliance Industries, is on the list of Padma Vibhushan awardees. Industrialist Palonji Shapurji Mistry, Maruti Suzuki chairman R.C. Bhargav figure in the list of Padma Bhushan awardees. In the field of art and culture, eminent Bharatnatyam and Kuchipudi dancer Yamini Krishnamurthy and classical vocalist Girija Devi have been chosen for the coveted Padma Vibhushan. In the field of science and research, former DRDO chief V.K. Atre will be felicitated with Padma Vibhushan, while Onkar Nath Srivastava was among those named for the Padma Shri awards. A large number of religious leaders too are there in the list, including Art of Living founder Sri Ravi Shankar, who gets a Padma Vibhushan, and spiritual leaders including late Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Other key personalities that figure in the list include former CAG Vinod Rai,
Chairperson of media group Bennett Coleman and Company, Indu Jain, and senior lawyer Ujjwal Nigam, who was the prosecution counsel in the Mumbai terror attack case. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on now, the Supreme Court will hear the Congress party's plea against recommendation of President's rule in Arunachal Pradesh on Jan 27th. The party has alleged that the centre's move is illegal. The main opposition party also met the president seeking his intervention. The government, meanwhile, refuted the allegations of political motivation, saying its decision is in line with constitutional provisions. Here's more.
ये हमने गुजारिश की है राष्ट्रपति जी से और मेमोरेंडम एक पेश किया है कि इन सारी बातों को सामने रखते हुए राष्ट्रपति जी इस पे गौर करें। और हम समझते हैं कि ये जो काम किया है राज्यपाल ने, ये इसलिए हुआ है क्योंकि इसके पीछे एक साजिश थी। गवर्नर के वकील ने कहा कि कोई ऐसा प्रेसिपिटेट एक्शन नहीं लिया जाएगा जब तक ये बहस जारी रहेगी। उसके बावजूद ये रिकमेंडेशन राज्यपाल ने की। हम समझते हैं कि ये एक कोर्ट को भी गुमराह करने वाली बात है। ये सारी बातें हम कोर्ट के सामने रखेंगे और हमें उम्मीद है कि कोर्ट इंसाफ करेगी।
President Pranab Mukherjee is believed to have questioned the need to bring Arunachal Pradesh under central rule. The questions are believed to have been raised during President Mukherjee's interaction with Home Minister Rajnath Singh. Mukherjee is believed to have raised questions on the urgency of the matter, especially when it was before the Supreme Court. The President is also said to be considering seeking legal opinion before taking a final call. Meanwhile, a delegation of Congress leaders including Ghulam Nabi Azad, Mallikarjun Kharge and Kapil Sibal submitted a memorandum in which the party said that this is for the first time that a decision to impose President's rule has been taken in the midst of a court hearing.
ये हमने गुजारिश की है राष्ट्रपति जी से और मेमोरेंडम एक पेश किया है कि इन सारी बातों को सामने रखते हुए राष्ट्रपति जी इस पे गौर करें। और हम समझते हैं कि ये जो काम किया है राज्यपाल ने, ये इसलिए हुआ है क्योंकि इसके पीछे एक साजिश थी। गवर्नर के वकील ने कहा कि कोई ऐसा प्रेसिपिटेट एक्शन नहीं लिया जाएगा जब तक ये बहस जारी रहेगी। उसके बावजूद ये रिकमेंडेशन राज्यपाल ने की। हम समझते हैं कि ये एक कोर्ट को भी गुमराह करने वाली बात है। ये सारी बातें हम कोर्ट के सामने रखेंगे और हमें उम्मीद है कि कोर्ट इंसाफ करेगी।
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi also attacked the centre for the decision. Reacting on Twitter, he said that the bid to impose President's rule in the state is a blatant bid to topple a duly elected government, and the Congress will fight the attack on the Constitution. The party has also challenged the cabinet decision in the Supreme Court that will be hearing the plea on January 27.
Our strategy will go to the court. The action that has been taken by Union Cabinet recommending President's rule in the state, which was not consulted by consulted with the state government, and there was no breach of any law and order problem in the state. Only the reports submitted by the governor should be not taken as considered, but they should have been consulted the state government also.
The government, however, denied any political motive behind the decision, saying it has been done as per provisions of the Constitution.
As all of you would appreciate, that there is a constitutional crisis in Arunachal Pradesh. There was a government which fell into minority, and then there was some intervention from the court side, and during this logjam 6 months have expired, and therefore a call has to be taken accordingly.
The Congress party has also accused the centre of using the office of the governor to achieve its political motives in non-BJP ruled states. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Going on to some international news now, at least 23 people were killed by a truck suicide bomber in Syria's Aleppo city on Monday. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said 19 of those killed were fighters of the Ahrar al-Sham rebel group. The attack hit a checkpoint at the entrance to a security complex belonging to the group. It was unclear who was responsible for the blast, but Ahrar al-Sham has been targeted by assassinations in the past. Meanwhile, United Nations is trying to secure the restart of postponed Syria peace talks on Friday. UN Special Envoy for Syria, Staffan de Mistura, said that the peace talks on Syria will push for the nationwide ceasefire for all parties other than the Islamic State and Al-Nusra Front armed groups, as both groups were designated as terrorists by the UN. The talks in Geneva will come after a set of meetings in Vienna and New York between the international community and regional players. The Syrian conflict has killed at least 250,000 people, and more than half of Syria's population has been internally displaced or have fled abroad. Meanwhile, at least 28 people have been killed after 4 suicide bombers attacked a town in Cameroon's north region near the border with Nigeria. Local officials say at least 65 others have been wounded. Reports say that 2 attackers detonated explosives at a market and 2 others blew themselves up in the town of Bodo. Government officials say that the attackers came from Nigeria. The army believes that Nigeria's Islamic extremist group Boko Haram are suspected. Soldiers have been deployed to the area. Here's a roundup of the other international news in our World Wrap. Italy and Iran signed a host of business deals on Monday at the start of a visit to Europe by Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. Iran is expected to sign up to 17 billion euros worth of deals with local Italian companies in sectors such as energy, infrastructure, steel and shipbuilding. Rouhani will also meet Pope Francis today before flying to France on Wednesday. A UN report released on Monday has confirmed findings by NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which showed that in 2015, the average temperature across global land and ocean surfaces was 0.90 centigrade above the 20th century average. While the temperature has increased by the El Nino phenomenon, scientists all across the globe blame the emission of greenhouse gases from burning of fossil fuels, stoking heat waves, droughts, downpours, and rising sea levels. Washington was at a standstill on Monday with government offices and schools closed and the U.S. House of Representatives cancelling all votes until next week. It could take several more days for Washington to return to normal even after the capital's snow removal effort were criticized for moving too slowly and ineffectively. This after a massive weekend blizzard, Snowzilla dropped more than 2 feet of snow along the East Coast and killing more than 30 people. Meanwhile, the Reagan National Airport reopened one runway for limited flights on Monday. And shifting focus to some sports news now. After being outplayed in the ODIs, Team India will look to get the balance right as they eye redemption in the first T20 match against Australia in Adelaide. Yuvraj Singh is primed to make his international return for the first time since the 2014 World T20 final in Bangladesh. Veterans Ashish Nehra and Harbhajan Singh have also been included in the team, with Suresh Raina making a comeback after being left out of the ODI series. Ajinkya Rahane has been ruled out of the match after failing to recover from an injury. For Australia, Shane Watson returns to the side, but Glenn Maxwell will be unavailable due to injury. Aaron Finch will take over the captaincy from Steve Smith for the T20 format. Indian team was comprehensively beaten in the ODIs, losing the series 1-4. The 3-match T20 series will be an opportunity to infuse some positivity ahead of the T20 World Cup in March. Well, that's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a happy Republic Day.